this video, we're going to talk about what is databases and how how do we create databases and how our data are stored in databases. So to start with database, I'm going to start with definition of what is database. Okay, so database is basically organized data structure that is stored in electronic devices. Okay, for example, electronic devices such as servers. Okay, because our data are present in servers, so that whenever we request something uh, in server, then server request back to the client by processing the client request. Okay, so basically databases are data present in server, so that if client requests for something related to something to server, then server responds to client with data uh, requested by client. Okay, so we are going to start by creating databases. So to start with database, so we start to create with database. First we have to open XAMPP. So let's open the XAMPP and let's start Apache and MySQL. So okay, my checking MySQL, and let's open Shell. Okay, and you can close this. So let's maximize it, and uh, the databases are databases are organized data. So to start, first of all, I am going to type MySQL dash u root, which will help to open MariaDB. Okay, MariaDB is a type of databases. There are different type of databases such as MariaDB, MySQL. So to see the list of databases, we are going to type command so databases. Okay, and you can see that our databases present in our computer. Their database tutorial, DB tutorial, for gloves, information schema, JDBC, MySQL performance schema, PHP admin, registration, test validation are databases present in my computer. So to create a databases, first we have to write command create database and the database name. Okay, I'm going to give database name. mm, uh, what should be what should I give database name? Let's give uh, the db demo. Okay, let's give db demo, and let's put on semicolon, and let's and it shows message called query. Okay, one affected, which means our database is created successfully. To see the database, we are again going to type so databases. You can see that db demo is created successfully. We have just created db demo, and it is so in our uh, database list. Okay, so to use the, and in databases there are a list of tables. So to my database is not selected yet, because you can see that the here is none. uh, here is none. So to select database, you have to use and database name. My database name is db demo. Okay, so you can see that database change. The database change from non to dbdm. Okay, now my database is in use. So there are a list of tables in our databases. So to create databases, we are going to create table inside of databases. So there is a command called create create table. I am going to give a table name. Create table name is a command to create a table in a database. So I'm going to give a table name called users. Okay, where user a field called id int not null not null, and auto increment. Okay, increment, and primary key. I'm id should be unique, because there can be conflict when when there are two same names, such as if if my users table have uh, two same name of ram and ram, then it can create conflict. We are giving id a primary key which will help to identify or uh, a person. Okay, so I'm going to keep name varchar 50. Okay, and let's give it email email varchar, and let's give it 70. Okay, maximum is 255. You can give 0 to 250. You can give from 0 to 255 range values in this small bracket. Okay, and let's give it one closing bracket, id in not on auto increment primary key, and primary key name varchar email varchar. Okay, and I have CMS called query okay zero affected, which means our table is also created successfully. So to see the tables in databases, we are going to see we are going to type command called simply show tables, which will show the tables present in our databases. So there is only one table which is users we have just created. So to see the structure of users, we are going to type command and disk users, and you can see that my field type my field are id, name and emails, where my id type is integer, and name and email are varchar. So initially, ID can be null, but name and email can be null. And we are given ID a primary key, so it is primary. And default all ID, name, and email are null. And it is auto increment. We have auto increment the ID, so it is auto increment. So let's insert the data in our databases. So to insert into the databases, there is command called insert into table name, which is users, our table name users, and we have to give field name, id. We are not going to give id because id is auto complete. So whenever we give name and email, then it will auto generate id, and it will auto increment according to the according auto generate the id, and it will auto increment the id whenever a user enters a value. Okay, uh, I'm going to type multiple values. So our name and email are varchar. So I'm going to give double quotation. So let's give it a ram, and let's separate value with commas, and let's give it email ram at mail.com. Okay, and I'm going to type same value here, so that I'm going to explain how value can be conflict. So we have given a primary key ram, and I'm going to type ram at yahoo.com. Okay, and let's give it and let's give it sam at mail.com. Okay, now these values are um, and you can see that query 0 3 row affected, and record 3 duplicate 0 warning 0, which means our data is inserted into tables successfully. So to see that uh, to see the data in table, we have a command called uh, select asterisk from table name, which is users. Okay, users. You can see that uh, my mm, my data are inserted into tables successfully. There are one, two, three, and previously I have told you that there can be two names. There can be two person of same name, which can create conflict in databases. So to resolve that, we have given an ID called primary key, which will help to identify a person. There is a RAM name called of ID1, and there is also a name called RAM or ID of 2. If we haven't given ID of primary key, then and it will sure create conflict, because in database we can't insert duplicate values. Okay, So just remember that you can't insert duplicate values in databases. So we have given a primary key which will help to identify a person. And uh, in next video we are going to see how to update the table values and how to alter the values. Okay, and we are going to see a function such as average function, sum function, uh, uh, basically aggregate function. Okay, so if you like my video, please do subscribe my channel. Thank you.